Well, now that I've finished up that nasty OnlyFans content, I'm glad it's over. I know some of you are too. I need some feel-good music. Something to cleanse my soul.
Well, shout out Patriot J, Benny Johnson, Big Bongino, Alex Jones. Free my dogs and lock up the radical left gone crazy. I don't bail, I won't see inside a cell. Shout out Thugger, free my slime, slat, YSL. They tryna lock me up, but I'm plugged in ATL. Got homies doing life in jail, they living in hell. These DAs acting silly, my mugshot is worth a billy. So some merchant made a milli, shot me Millie out in Philly. Shot the baby, shot the Sosa, Benny Butcher, them my rollers. Called me racist, but these rappers riding with me, them my soldiers. Mega, I am not who they are after. I'm just in the way they want to get to you, but I won't let them. Cold-hearted, no, I'm artist, getting back to where I started. I don't need to do the race, I'ma beat them Rico charges. And if I go to prison, you can't do me like the Clintons. I'll be laid up, eating steak with Secret Service, chilling, screaming, orange man bad, the whole world mad. Thug life, shout out all of my MAGA base shads. Coming for the deep state, I will stop the new world order. But before that, I'll finish walls at the border. YSL, // shout out Thugger. Finny got nothing on us.
Picking up where I left off, we're gonna look at Mike Bargo's cross-examination. If you remember.
Yeah, remember Alex? Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember. Remember Slimy?
You've yourself as a victim in this case, haven't you?
No, ma'am.
You're just a misunderstood guy, aren't you?
I wouldn't say that.
Everybody seems to misunderstand what you say.
No one's heard what I said other than now.
And people framed you.
Yeah.
And when you say they shot him or we shot him, it's really I, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Let's talk about your girlfriends. We kind of skimmed over that in the beginning, and I know that was a couple hours ago. We talked about Kristen Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
You dated her for about 1.5 years. You were dating Taylor,
Right.
another girl, at the same time. This is the straight A honor student.
Yes, ma'am.
You left out when you testified that you were also sleeping with Charlie Ely at the time, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
And in fact, you were worried when everybody thought she was pregnant that it was your baby.
Well, because of a prior incident before, she didn't know exactly when she was pregnant, but at the time, I wasn't sleeping with her.
But at some point, you were having sex with Charlie Ely.
At some point, I did.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have Kristen, Taylor, Charlie Ely, and again, somebody else you left out that you were dating when you testified is Amber.
No, ma'am.
Because you were sleeping with Amber and dating her at the time.
No, I wasn't.
You do have her initials tattooed right in your groin area.
I have it on my thigh.
Overruled.
I have it on my thigh. I do.
Okay. Do you tattoo a lot of girls' names that you're friends with all over your thighs?
No, but there was something behind that. If you want me
Okay.
to tell you, I will tell you.
How about this? She has your initials tattooed on her private area too, doesn't she?
It's not in her private area. It's below her belt line, but yeah.
Okay. Below, some people may say that's your private area. You don't. That's fine. Right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you do that yourself?
I did.
Okay. So you tattooed your initials right here on Amber Wright.
I can't see where you're pointing.
Right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you have her initials tattooed right here.
Where?
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. But you weren't in love with her or sleeping with her.
No.
Okay. In fact, isn't it true that the reason you and Seth were feuding is because she cheated on Seth with you?
She never cheated on Seth with me. She never did anything with me.
And you've come in here now and you've made up this story about Seth raping her and Seth beating her, when that was not the reason you guys were fighting at all.
Never made up a story, and I never told you something that I didn't already hear from her.
Because isn't it true that Seth broke up with Amber because she found out that you two had slept together?
Not to my understanding. You want me to answer that?
You already did.
No. Let me give you half answers. If you want a full answer, I'll give you a full answer.
You may.
My understanding what happened was she called to break up with him because he was abusive. In fact, Tracy Wright was the one who told her she needed to break up with him. And she went and called him and broke up with him. Now, it somehow got around to that she's breaking up with him because she was sleeping with me, and that was an accusation from him. And I've never slept with Amber.
So somehow, again, you're just the misunderstood victim in this whole thing.
Somehow I got dragged in the middle of that.
All right. Which goes back to my earlier question. You are just a misunderstood victim in the
Objection,
case.
Your Honor. Repetitive castigating.
Sustained.
Let's talk about another girlfriend that we haven't talked about. How about Tessa McLam?
All right.
Okay. How old was Tessa when you were dating her?
15?
Try maybe 13, 14?
I know.
How about the real reason that you moved into Charlie Ely's house?
I already told you the real reason why I moved in. Now, there were other things going on, but it was already set that I was moving in there.
Let's talk about those other things that were going on.
All right.
You testified that you moved into Charlie Ely's house because she said to you, hey, I need rent money, you want to move in.
I was going to help her with rent, yeah.
But the real reason you moved in there is because Tesla's father found out you two had slept together, and he said he was going to call the police.
See? There's another problem with that. I never slept with her, and she knows I didn't. You want me to go into this?
Sure.
Can I, please? What had happened was, me and her had dated. I care about this girl deeply. I'm not going to say I didn't. She got drunk and told her aunt that she slept with me, which was a lie, which she knows was a lie. Her and her mom both know it was a lie. Yes, I cared about her, but I never took it that far. I never slept with her. And they even came and picked me up one time. I was already living with Charlie at the time. They came and picked me up from Amber's house, and they drove me over to Charlie's, and they sat me down. They told me what Tessa said to her aunt, and they said I need to just lay low until they have a chance to fix what they did, because they knew that it wasn't true.
Again, another big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Pertaining to you again. Okay. But the bottom line is, whether or not you actually had sex with Tessa McLam, you thought there was a warrant out for you.
I did.
Okay, so you thought there was a warrant and you were hiding at Charlie Ely's house.
Not hiding, but yeah, I was staying there.
You were staying there because you thought there was a warrant out for you.
No, I thought there was a warrant out, but I wasn't hiding.
Because that's what you do. When you
That's what I
break the law, you run and hide, don't you?
No.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Now you say that you tried to avoid all conflicts with Seth,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because of course, whenever there was any problems, I don't want any problems with Seth. I tried to get away from it because you're not that kind of guy. Okay. Because I think you testified on direct, that's what you do, and this was a quote I wrote down from your direct, you avoid problems as much as possible.
Much as I possibly can.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Isn't it true that if a man crosses you bad enough, all bets are off, you're going to come out swinging?
Coming after me, I am.
Because you wrote a letter stating that exact thing. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes,
Can we
ma'am.
read the full letter, or are we just going to read part of it?
You can read the part about, I would never hurt a woman, but if a man crosses me bad enough, all bets are off. Did you write that letter?
If there's no avoiding a confrontation.
Because
But yes,
if,
I wrote that.
if someone makes you mad enough,
And there's no avoiding the confrontation, like
You're gonna
the
come
letter
out
says.
swinging.
Like the letter says, if you finish reading it a couple lines down, it said if there's no avoiding it, yeah, I'm not gonna let somebody beat up on me.
if someone makes you mad enough, you're going to come out swinging.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Can I answer?
Sustained. Let's move on, counsel.
You kind of describe yourself as a mentor to Kyle. Wouldn't you agree?
Ooh,
Okay, well,
Look, man, Kyle was his own person. I would give him advice. Like, I told him he needs to get off drugs. I tried telling him that.
Right. You gave him a lot of advice, didn't you?
I have before.
Okay. And about the drugs, you say that he has a methamphetamine problem.
He does.
All right. And I think you testified that you have family members or experience with people that are addicted to methamphetamine.
I do.
Okay. And wouldn't you agree that people that are addicted to methamphetamine are usually very thin from doing the drug?
Depending on how far along their addiction they
Okay.
are, it depends.
You described Kyle Hooper as being pretty bad off addicted to methamphetamine.
He was getting pretty bad.
Okay. Have you seen a lot of 240-pound methamphetamine addicted people?
Objection, that's irrelevant, Judge.
Overruled.
Surprisingly, I have. I have, actually.
And you said you counseled Kyle that dope is bad. He needs to get off the dope.
He needs to get off that.
Okay. Because except for marijuana that you testified you do, Xanax and Soma, besides those things, dope is bad.
I don't take Xanax. First of all, I don't take Xanax. I'm taking so much for my knee because I have a knee problem. No, they weren't prescribed to me. Yes, I take them for my knee. I don't think pot's a drug. And next couple years, I'm fairly sure they're going to end up legalizing it. I don't think it's a drug.
You said you don't take Xanax.
I don't.
But you said that somebody paid you in Xanax to do some tattoo work.
No. What I said was he owed me money and he kept dodging me. The only thing he had at the time was pills, and I just wanted to get the guy, just wanted to get him off, you know. He owed me money and I just wanted to, you know, get him off the people that owe me money, you know. Just wanted to be done with that. He kind of aggravating me.
So he gave you Xanax.
So he gave me the Xanax.
Okay. And you said you took the Xanax.
This was all he had.
Okay. So you took the Xanax and you took the Soma, that wasn't your prescription, and marijuana. Those are okay.
No, I don't take Xanax. I don't ingest Xanax. I don't ingest any barbiturates.
Now let's see. You said you hit Kyle with some tough love.
I did.
All right. You told him he needed to go to work.
Yeah, he didn't want to go to work. He wanted to stay home because he caught the victim sleeping with his girlfriend. He was so tore up about it. He was so tore up about it. He didn't want to go to work, and I knew that if he didn't go to work that day, he's just going to do it again the next day. He's going to do it again the next day, and eventually he's just going to quit.
All right, this is all part of you're helping Kyle.
I tried to
make him a better person. Okay. And when you say you let him borrow the gun, you told him, don't point the gun at yourself or anyone else. You gave him that advice.
Well, I mean, kind of comes with the territory, you know. Don't point the gun at somebody.
And when you say he stole Seth's bike, you told him you don't go stealing someone else's bike, right?
Yeah, you don't go stealing something to bring it to the house, you know. How bad is that?
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
I don't know if I'm convicted.
Isn't it true, in fact, that you have been convicted of 2 felonies?
Like I said, no. And my understanding it wasn't 2. It's my understanding it wasn't 2 felonies. And my understanding I was, what is it called, adjudicated.
You may now proceed, counsel.
Maybe this will help your understanding. Burglary of a dwelling. Can you read that right there?
The defendant was adjudicated guilty.
Okay, and that's you.
That's me.
And a grand theft is right under here. The defendant was adjudicated guilty.
I thought you were talking about 2 separate cases.
Okay. Maybe I just misunderstood.
You got me.
All right, so you are a convicted felon.
I guess I am.
All right, so April 17th, you woke up. You said your normal Sunday routines, you go to church and you clean.
No. I was raised that Sundays pretty much reserved for church and cleaning. I haven't been to church in quite a while. To tell you the truth, I wish I would have been. But no, we were going to clean that day, and that's what we did.
Okay. What did you clean? We saw pictures of the house and the video. What'd you clean?
Yeah, it's not clean now. And it was fairly clean at the time until I trashed the house looking for my gun.
Okay. By cleaning, I know you say you trashed the house and made house.
Well, it wouldn't constitute as cleaning in anybody's dictionary, but it pretty much consisted of moving one pile of junk to another.
Okay.
But
Because you said you all got to clean in the house that day.
yeah.
All right. Now, you talked about how you'd hurt your knee in some bike accident.
Yeah.
Okay. You really hurt your knee chasing Seth when he escaped out of the house, didn't you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, were you the one on the porch yelling, "Get him," then?
I wasn't there when that happened.
Now, when everyone else went to light a fire, before Seth got there, you said you cautioned them all about a burn ban and that the fire marshal might come, so they needed to be careful?
That was before, when was it? That was before I left the house. That was before it was even dark out. That was around, couldn't have been no later than 7.
You were being very cautious about the fire marshal and telling them, look out.
Have you ever had the fire marshals come out and give you a ticket?
So you weren't telling them that?
Yeah, don't start it yet.
Because you didn't want to get a ticket from the fire marshal when the body was burning.
There was no body in the fire at 7 o'clock.
All right, you left to go to Taylor's, and you stopped, I guess, at your drug dealer's house to get pot, you said?
I went over there and got some pot.
And some cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay, because you were going to bring some pot and some cigarettes to your straight-A student girlfriend Taylor's house.
Trust me, she's completely against it, but I smoke pot. I do.
And then you smelled like hay from the drug dealer's house?
Yeah, well, these dudes work at a horse farm. And they come home, and I don't know if they just like flop on the couch, but the house smells like a damn stable.
So then you had to go back home because you were going to take a shower.
I didn't have to, but like halfway leaving, I realized I don't have any of my clothes at Taylor's no more. I stopped off at the house to take a shower real quick, and that's...
And then you were mad because there was a rank dope smell when you got into the house.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And that's opposed to the way it smelled every morning when you smoked your joint before you took a shower while the water was running?
There's a big difference between pot and meth smoke. There's a big difference.
You just don't like the smell of the meth, but the pot's good.
Well, I don't like breathing in meth.
Now, Kyle beat you up. You say your nose is broken.
My nose is broken.
Okay, so you reset it yourself somehow.
No, well, it's not hard. I've had, you can't see that big beak I got. I've had to reset that nose a few times.
All right. And you leave the house after this beat down and you're in the fetal position and the nose is broken. You leave the house again.
Objection, compound question.
Sustained.
Your nose is broken.
Right.
You're beat up
Right.
badly.
Pretty bad.
Okay. And you described yourself as lying in the fetal position when Kyle was just kicking you.
Kind of in the days. It's not like I kind of just sitting here. Actually, my arms were like down at my side and I'm getting kicked in the face here. And it's not like I'm, just, hey, kick me, kind of just getting kicked,
So you're walking, you leave the house and you're walking on the street. I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty ticked off, I decided to leave, These people just stomped my face and my gun's missing and there's I'm not sticking around.
So you leave and you get sick.
Yeah, I threw up.
You call your dad.
I did.
Your dad's a nice guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he loves you very much.
He does.
And your dad comes and he picks you up.
Yeah.
And so when your dad comes to pick you up, you tell him, I just got my face stomped on. Somebody stole my gun. Can I please come back and stay with you?
Compound question.
No.
Overruled. Let her answer.
Absolutely not. I'd have told my dad that I just got my face stomped in and that somebody just stole my gun. You know how much drama there would have been?
Your dad would have let you come back to the house he lives in with your grandmother, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't want to go back there.
Okay, you'd rather go back to the place where you got beat down and they stole your gun.
Yeah, I mean, I live there, my stuff is there. I'm not going to go to my grandma's house. My grandma's an elderly woman. I'm not going to go there all beat up and drunk, and I'm not going to do that to her. I'm not. She doesn't need to go through that.
Now you come in, and you say Charlie Lee's cleaning with some bleach, and Amber's crying.
Yeah, Amber's crying on the couch.
There's a big fire, and your word you used to describe that was you're dumbfounded.
Dumbfounded.
Dumbfounded, that's what you said.
I'm dumbfounded about what?
About the big fire. They're crying, big bleach, bonfire, dumbfounded.
Walked in, seen her crying, kind of wondering what the hell that's all about. Went to my room, like I said, Soto came in, but then you objected what he said to me. Went out there, and when I seen this fire, yeah, I was kind of dumbfounded. There's trees all around. This fire is like 20 foot tall.
And you told Kyle Hooper to call the cops, right?
No, it was a misunderstanding.
Oh.
I said to him, let me finish. I said to him, I don't know exactly what I said to him, if it was, you should call the cops or somebody's going to call the cops, because if I can't, you wouldn't let me describe exactly what he said to me, but the way he kind of described it, it sounded kind of like self-defense, but then again, not really.
Okay, well, you said Kyle got mad and said, help us or you're against us.
Either for us, you're against us. That's what he said.
All right. So at this point, you called your dad, right, and said, I'm in some trouble. I'm going to get blamed for something. Come get me.
No.
You didn't call your dad here either. Okay.
No, that's completely out of order. No. I called my dad when I was over by the Quick King to come pick me up, and he dropped me off, and then he left, and I never called him after that.
That's my point. Okay. You said you were scared like hell. That's a quote I have from you, scared like hell.
Yeah, when me and Kyle were talking, yeah.
Okay. So you went to sleep.
So I went out there, keep an eye on him. Yeah, I went to sleep.
Okay.
I mean, there's not really much I could have done at that point.
There's not much you could have done.
What do you
Could you have
suggest?
called the police?
And then what, get blamed for
Can
it?
you answer my question? Could you have called the police?
Oh, I could have.
Could you have called your dad?
No, I would not have called my dad
Could
for
you
that.
have called your dad?
I could have, but I
Could
wouldn't.
you have called your grandmother?
Hell no.
Could you have left the house?
And done what? Had him come after me and then beat me up and drag me back and throw me in the fire because you think I'm going to go tell on him?
Could you have left the house?
Without being killed? No.
Okay, you couldn't leave the house. Could you have called Taylor?
No, I couldn't have. It was, by the time then, it was almost 12 o'clock. I knew she was in bed.
In fact, there's lots of people you could have called, and there's lots of things you could have done, but you went to sleep.
Lots of ifs and lots of could-haves, but it's not what happened.
Now, the next morning, you woke up like 10:30. It was light outside. You slept in. You get in the car with Tracy Wright, Amber, and Kyle. And Tracy asks you about your face. What happened to your face?
I don't think she asked me about my face.
Okay. Well, you said you described to her what happened to your face.
No. I never described to her what happened to my face.
You said on direct examination that you told her my face got burned by an aerosol can because that's what they told you to say.
Kyle wanted me to say that, but I don't even think the question ever came up, and if it did, it wasn't me that answered it.
Okay.
In fact, because when I got into the car, when we went to go drop him off, I was out. I went to sleep.
So your testimony now is that you never told Tracy Wright my face got burned by an aerosol can.
Never told her that.
And what about telling Tracy Wright, would you still love me if I did something wrong?
Why would I say that to her?
Because you just killed Seath Jackson?
No, that sounds like something Kyle would have said because he just killed Seath Jackson. That's not my mom, that's his mom.
So you're denying that you said that as well?
I never said that.
A misunderstanding again.
It has to be.
All right. Now, you told them where this rock quarry was.
I did.
Correct. Because nobody else knew where this was.
True.
This was your place. This was your idea.
No.
To,
No.
Your idea where to dispose of the body.
I couldn't tell you what they said because you objected to it. If you want to go back, I'll say it.
This is my question.
No, it was
You
not
told
bad.
them where the rock quarry was.
Well, you want me to, can I say it? Can I
You've
answer?
already answered yes. You told them where it
Can I
was.
answer this question, please?
You did. Let's move forward, please, counsel.
Okay. Now, you took the blocks and the buckets, and you guys all went to the rock quarry.
Yes.
Or we've seen the pictures. It's a long walk to get to the quarry.
Quite a long walk.
Okay. And you're carrying cinder blocks, you say, at this point?
Carried one cinder block.
So at some point on this walk, you told them, hey, I'm not helping you do this anymore. My knee hurts. I'm going to stop, right?
No.
You just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
That you stopped, you called the police, you didn't assist them. You didn't do any of those things.
No.
You helped him.
I carried a cinder block to the fence. They climbed over with it.
Because you told them to. You testified on direct. You told them to throw the buckets over the cliff, down the rock wall.
Well, if they're going to do it, that'd be the way to do it.
Okay. So you were helping them out. You were taking Kyle's advice if you were going to be with them. Then after you dispose of Seth's body, after it's dumped in the quarry, you go to Publix, get some beer, and you start drinking.
Yeah. It was pretty stressful.
All right, Kristen, you go to her house before you go to Stark,
I did.
and you'd say you told her somebody got shot with a gun,
Somebody got shot with my gun.
with my gun, okay. And your girlfriend of 1.5 years, Kristen, misunderstood you and thought you said, I shot a kid.
That somebody got shot with my gun.
Right. But that's not what she says.
I never told her I shot somebody.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. She misunderstood what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Your girlfriend of a year and a half. Mistook that.
Objection, argument with the witness.
Sustained.
All right, let's talk about you going to Stark. Now, you say basically that you fled to Stark for Kyle.
Yeah, he didn't. He's worried I'm gonna tell on him, and he just. I said, well, if you're so worried, then why don't I just go to Stark?
Okay, so out of the goodness of your heart, you tell Kyle, if you think I'm gonna go to the cops,
Not necessarily out of the goodness of my heart. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get the hell out of there. I didn't want no part of that. I didn't want no part from the beginning. But I made the decision to become a part of it, and and he's worried about me telling on him, and he's so worried about me telling on him that he's threatening me that he's gonna pin it on me.
so just to allay Kyle's fears, you're gonna go shoot on up to Stark.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get to Stark, and you said that you get along with Kristen's family fine. You have no problems with them.
Never really had a problem with him.
Never had a problem.
Her brother a little bit. Her brother a little bit. But that's kind of irrelevant to all this.
So when you get up to Stark, the Kyle's not there, right?
Nope.
Justin's not there. No Charlie Ely. No Amber. Okay. None of those people are there. You're with a family that you visited before,
Yes.
okay, that you get along with.
Fairly.
So at this point, clearly you tell them, I need some help. People are trying to pin a murder on me.
It didn't come out like that.
Instead, you sit by a burn barrel and you drink some beer.
I did at one
That's
point.
what you do when you get there?
Well, later on that night we did. I mean, I drank beer.
And again, these people, we have James Williams Sr.,
Right.
James Williams Jr., Crystal Anderson, Josh Padgett.
Yes.
All say, quote from you is, I shot the kid.
No, I think I know where they got misconstrued with all that.
Misunderstood, again, all of them.
Well, yeah.
Argument is vote.
Sustained. Let's refrain from using that misunderstood question again, please.
You were bragging to people that you murdered Seth.
No, I've never bragged to anybody that I've done anything.
Isn't it true that you were bragging because you wanted people to know what you had done and you wanted people to be scared of you?
Why would I want people to be scared of me for something I didn't do?
Well, you would want people to be scared of you because as you testified on direct, you're a little guy and you got picked on your whole life.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna stop it.
So you wanted people to be scared of you.
No, I don't want no one scared of me.
Isn't it true that when you were in court, another inmate said that they were going to whoop your ass, and you just laughed at him? Because he obviously didn't know what you were in here for.
Where's this inmate at?
One second. Let me hear the, no ma'am, let me hear the question again.
Isn't it true that when you were in court, another inmate threatened to beat you up?
What's the date on that? Just curious.
June
My objection was relevance, bad character.
June 13th of
Overruled.
2011.
June 13th. That was, and it wasn't an inmate. Just so you know, it
Well,
was.
you wrote an inmate. I didn't pick that word.
Oh, well, that's a misunderstanding. It was somebody in the background, standing in the audience, that was laughing and pointing, "Kill you," and that's what he was saying to me. And I just kind of brushed it off. You know, I'm locked in a room by myself, 23 hours a day. I'm not.
He was making fun of you and threatening you. You laughed because he obviously didn't know what you were in jail for, did he?
What?
You want me to approach and show him the letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, Chase is the guy's name. Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Because he should have been scared of you.
No,
You felt Seth
no, that's
You
not
bragged
why.
about it to everybody.
Your Honor, I want to lodge objection before I agree that the probative value of this is far outweighed by its prejudicial effect.
Overruled.
That's
I don't have any further questions,
Well,
right? There's no more questions, Mr.
Well, I want to answer that. Your Honor, can I please answer that?
He answered it, Your Honor.
You answered the question. Mr. Holloman may have some further questions of you. Redirect examination.
Mr. Bargo, I want to show you what are the two felony adjudications, also known as convictions in this case. Are you familiar with those?
I am.
And when did that happen?
I don't remember the exact date, but somewhere in 2011.
Right, was it during the course that this murder case was pending?
Like right after this case became active.
This, right.
You're right.
So it was pending at the time you were charged with actually murder, correct?
Yes.
What judge was that in front of?
Hale Stansel.
There was a pretrial that you went to, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to object to the relevance of this at this point.
Overruled.
There was a pretrial that you went to.
Yes, sir.
And at this pretrial, the judge noted, it was called by your defense attorney at the time the judge was told, that these murder charges were actually pending, correct?
Yes, he was.
And didn't your attorney also argue in front of that judge that these could be used as aggravators, maybe?
Yes.
Or at least to impeach you as being a convicted felon?
They did.
Did he move to have these cases transferred to Judge Andy to dispose of them?
And blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. It looks like Mike's had 2 appeals already, which have been upheld. I don't know the Florida law, but we're probably looking at one more appeal, which will be upheld. And then they will schedule a date for him to ride the electric chair. Goodbye, Mike.